Welcome, Art World lovers. My name is Alec Paul, your Art World Love podcast host, and today I will be interviewing one of my very good friends. His name is Andrew Lindgren, and he went to UNO with me when I was there. He is still a student, and not sure when he's going to be graduating, but we'll find out soon. And yeah, here we go. We're going to jump right into it. So, how you doing, Andrew?
Hey, Alec, how's it going?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm excited to have you here, man. We always have excellent conversations about art, and I'm really excited to have you on the podcast because, yeah, we just always have like off the wall rants about stuff, and let's do another one. This time we'll record it.
Yeah,
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 cool.
for sure. Thanks for having me, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course. So let's see, when do you graduate from UNO?
So I am set to graduate with a BFA in May of next year, 2023.
Okay. And I know the BFA is a three semester program. Are you in your first semester right now?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, cool. How are you feeling about it?
Uh, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, I've always, handled making my art just like on the fly. I didn't really have to think about too much in my world of how things were going at the time. But like, I think the BFA helped me realize, or is helping me realize, that I need to plan things out accordingly. Everything is on my dime, unless it's with a grant. Even still, like it's very important to measure out everything right and try not to mess anything up.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of like you go from making all of these like projects that you're assigned, and then you go into the BFA, and which is the Bachelor of Fine Arts, by the way, for those of you that don't know what we're saying there with BFA. But yeah, like you go from making all these projects that are assigned, and then you go into like basically treating your art like a profession, kind of, right? Like, is that the feeling that you're starting to get from it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Bachelor of Studio Arts was mainly going over processes and techniques that artists will use, and then from there you got to think about what are you going to do different, or how are you going to use this knowledge to show your art or make your art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I felt like I was already doing that with old shit, like the assigned projects. I was already like, I'm not doing what you're gonna ask me to do. I'm gonna make my stuff. You know.
Yeah,
And I think you did the same thing. Like,
totally. It's just kind of like especially when it came to material, I was like, if I'm making a wood project, I don't want to use pine. Or just like ornament strand board. Let's like go all out. I'm gonna spend everything I have.
I remember that you did. You went and bought all those wooden blocks from like Brazil and stuff, and
Yeah, yep.
and you were like cutting them up into little precise pieces and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll still go for that when I can. Right now, I'm working on a piece out of poplar, just all poplar, and it's um, I'm probably a third of the way in it, and almost $400. So
Damn.
it's gonna be a pricey one.
Ugh.
But
Yeah.
to me, it makes it that much more intense. Like I feel like if I mess this up, it's gonna, put a dent in my wallet in my life. Like let's jump into the, just jump in.
Yeah, it gets into that like you have to really you like you were saying scheduling and budgeting and planning all your stuff. Like you
Mhm.
it
Little
takes a
to
lot.
like try not to waste anything, because I mean that's really hard, especially if you're going into resin art, like um, or mold making. Like you can easily just waste so much money.
Do you still work with resin?
Yeah, Yeah, I still work with resin. I do these right now. These are the glow resin skulls.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I've probably made over 100 of these now, and I started just making ceramic work for them to show that they glow. So here's the ceramic work,
Oh,
and it's got 3 skulls there. So like for the 3 ways to die, physically, then you're forgotten, and what's the other one? No one knew you were dead or something. I think that was it.
oh, you gonna show us there? Oh, sweet.
Do it. I don't know
I
if it's
I think it's slid forward. Yeah, I don't know if
did.
it's gonna work. Yeah, that's still pretty dope, man. Like, yeah, I get the concept there. Like, you hide it in the dark, and then you can look in that little peephole and see.
Yeah. Here, let me see if I can. I'll just do it upside down. See if that
Okay.
works.
Yeah, for sure. So Andrew is showing us his art. Yeah.
Let me see
Okay.
the color.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Cool. Yeah. So explain for the people that aren't watching, like what's going on there. What is the concept there?
So let's see.
So like you got this
Let's see
ceramic
here.
piece, and it's like the outer shell, and you look into this dark ceramic piece, and you have this glowing little skull inside of it. And the
Yes.
glowing the skull inside of the ceramic skull is made out of glowing resin. You pulling up a piece. Oh yeah,
Um,
because you've gotten some good pictures, haven't you?
yeah. They're on my Instagram right now too. And that's of them actually glowing.
What's your Instagram?
I'm trying to find. It's Andrew Lindgren, no spaces. So Andrew and then Lindgren, Lindgren.
That's
Um,
it. There's no numbers or anything.
no numbers. Yeah, just my name, no
Oh,
spaces.
okay.
So yeah. So this concept though, these were made for the Day of the Dead. My girlfriend, who's painted here by me, um, she's a vendor and owner of soychingona.com, also on Instagram. But so we started working together, and I was like, I make resin art and I make sculptures. Let's collaborate and uh, see where it goes. And so I started making these glow resin skulls for Day of the Dead, and with the Day of the Dead, there's, like I was kind of touching on before, 3 ways of dying is the physical death, the burial, and then being forgotten.
Mm,
Um,
there you go.
so I was making these. I thought, no one's seeing these glow. I built a pyramid to show them glowing, so you could see them inside the pyramid, and that's also posted on my Instagram. Um, but I found that was too giant to move around. It was around 6 feet tall and 4 feet uh, wide, and I was like, I need to figure out something else. So I made these ceramic skulls, and I thought, I should really carry out the whole 3 deaths in it, and yeah, that's where that came from. From there, it just kind of flourished. I'm sure it was the feeling. Whenever I think about these, I think about your pop hands. Honestly, like how it just, or maybe not the pop hands, maybe the snowman, where it just kind of
Oh.
carried out. It was just like, oh, I'm going with this, all right. But I mean, I love doing it, so I think that is the art in itself. Like it's I passion went behind it, and a lot of hours, a lot of planning, and I feel like that, and talking with everybody and about the situations has really like made me grow in a way I didn't see coming.
Yeah, because you're making like you're cranking those out, like you're making a whole body of work too around them. Like,
Yeah, and this stuff, I mean, besides the ceramic skulls, was not school oriented. It was just kind of like, here's an idea, and let's roll with it. And now that I'm taking advanced ceramics for the second time, I'm kind of just expanding on where to go from here, and especially with mold making.
um, how have you made any silicone molds yet, or have you only done the ceramic molds?
Just the ceramic molds.
Okay.
You know what? I've done some silicone. I did it for the well. I
Oh
think
shit! Yeah, you made those ones. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
that was the
Okay.
one part. And I did a 2-part with silicone for a um, the Lady of Guadalupe.
Um, did you have any issues with that 2-part silicone mold?
Yes. Well, for the uh, uh, Virgen de Guadalupe, um, she has like a ray of a wall coming from behind her.
Uh-huh.
So the first issue when I did it was that it wasn't uh, done correctly. Like I didn't know where to put between the figure of the body and the wall raised behind her, where to make that cut.
Hmm.
So I actually ended up breaking off part of my first mold, and um, I think what has to be done is I have to go the other way with it. You know, saying if she's facing you, I have to split the mold this way.
Mm. Yeah, split it from like around the sides. Like you draw the line around the. I don't know the technical term for those. I've just made them. I don't even like read up on them that much. But like,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
think
called the
that part
break.
I have a struggle with. Like, if you're trying to make a mold of something, it can be challenging in the way that you got to figure out where this thing opens up without destroying, what you're making.
Yeah, yeah, or the molds too.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Huh. Um. So you're also a painter, right?
Yeah,
You consider yourself a painter?
I'm a aspiring painter.
Okay.
An aspiring painter. So I haven't had a lot of history with painting or drawing for that matter. Both I've always enjoyed. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't have any direction prior to UNO. So that has been a great experience, and I feel like I've learned so much already. And I want to continue to push that, especially within my sculpture work. I think it's important that just because it's a sculpture doesn't mean you can't paint on it, or
Mhm.
um, just because it's a painting doesn't mean it can't be a sculpture.
Yeah.
Um, but yes,
Um,
breaking those that it's not too bad of a barrier, but I feel like in some people's eyes that it could be controversial. Like, why do we have these terms when uh, I don't know, or subjects or lines of subjects, like these borders.
uh, yeah, like 2D versus 3D.
Yeah, or even like writing poetry and all that stuff, music. Um, it's kind of just put into its own category, and I like to just like let's get away with all it. Go
All of
around.
it at once. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah,
You can basically write a poem through a sculpture,
yeah, for sure.
or you can base a sculpture off of a poem or something, and
Yeah,
um
or use a sculpture for its acoustics to sing your poetry through it with sound or music, and the sculpture becomes something entirely different.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like kind of inspired by it. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
do you write poetry?
I mean, I've taken some poetry classes. I don't, lounge around and do that. I think poetry is very difficult. For me, my poetry is, or my creativity is uh, channeled through my sculpture work. When I
Okay.
did take poetry, I did enjoy it. I liked finding the right way to say something, or the creative way of saying something. And um, yeah, I feel like poetry could be in my work later on in sculpture, uh, but honestly, as many people encouraged me to go on with it, I didn't feel like it was you know a part of you know really something that I wanted to push,
Mm,
or make part of me. um
mm.
but who knows what the future will hold. Maybe I'll turn and find this inspiration again towards poetry.
I know you're also a bass player.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you, do you still play?
So it is difficult to play bass and be a sculptor.
Why?
Well, I'll say this. So on one of your cues here, you say, "What is one of the challenges you've had, or what would you recommend to someone that would like to pursue your career?" And
Uh-huh.
that to take care of your hands.
Oh,
So
really?
every semester that I've had at UNO, something has happened to my hands, and that has made it very difficult to even be remotely uh, inspired to pick up my bass guitar.
Okay.
So it is feeling the neglect right now.
Can you still like pick up the bass though and like rattle off a little riff or something?
Yeah, I mean, not physically right now. I don't have, but I did. I think it's been about 2 years since that plurality piece where I drilled into my finger here. I
uh,
got a scar there. I don't know if you could see it. It's like
uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can see the slight line there. Yeah.
it's like
Ooh.
right across there. So I have like very little feeling there now. I could feel this, but it's like pressure,
Uh-huh.
and where my string would go. A lot of the times, this is the hand you're gonna play your notes with.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I mean, I'm a right-handed person, so yeah, it's challenging. I mean, if anything, if I see a future with me in bass guitars, it's gonna be making them.
Oh.
And making other, I've done one, the Franken bass, but yeah, it's a challenge. It's fun
I
though.
remember I remember that Franken bass you like took apart an old bass and then rebuilt the whole structure of how a bass guitar is put together and
Yeah, standing bass. So I think the cue or the subject that we were learning was to weld a box. So just a cube shape,
uh-huh.
and so I built that cube shape into an amp holder, or where I'd hold my speaker. And
Uh-huh.
then there I built it up into another piece, and I was like, I'm gonna make this whole thing a standing electric bass, and the bottom of it's gonna have the amp. So yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um what so you're interested in a lot of topics with art.
Yeah,
Um
I guess multimedia. If if I'm gonna, I mean, I consider myself a sculptor though, because that's the thing that I feel like it's built into me. Like even if I wanted to, I can't go anywhere without it. Um, and that's been like since childhood. And um, so yeah, I think that's the one thing that I'll always consider myself as a sculptor. And I mean, I feel like that too. It's such a vague like description. Like, what do you make? Like pots or ceramics, or you chisel, or what do you do? And I'm like, well, no, I want to do all that, but and more.
uh-huh. Yeah, it's just kind of based on the limitations of your surroundings right now. Like, yeah, like I would love to go to Italy and carve some marble,
Yeah.
you know, but I can't really afford that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who can, but maybe one day that will be a thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're off to Italy. We're gonna carve some marble.
Yeah. See you in a few months,
Yeah.
maybe a few years. When did you first consider yourself a sculptor?
Um, I guess defining myself a sculptor probably at the start of UNO. However, like I've always enjoyed building things, just making, even if they were little. It started when I was like, I want to say 4 years old.
Really?
Yeah, I have I'm adopted for the audience. I was adopted at a middle childhood age, and I went through foster care and that stuff. But my birth father, he left a legit
Sorry.
mark. It's all right. So my birth father left like a good mark on me early on. That was good, a good impression of where, or a good memory too, of us building like silverware sculptures with the utensils at I think it was maybe a village inn. And I think from there, after it was just like this little childhood memory that got me started. And I always like remember that. I'll always remember that. Just simply building something out of what you have.
Hmm.
And from there, I mean, I went into foster care at 6 years old, and that, you know, I guess left a stamp or an impression on me.
So that was like a core memory
Yeah.
that that just stuck with you, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, maybe without it, I guess who knows what would have happened, but that's the way it goes. Like, I imagine, a lot of people might have their childhood father figure showing them, their career, or maybe that's the inspiration that starts that for them. But I mean, mine was short and simple, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how like just even one little memory can have such a huge impact on your life and influence the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yeah, even well into your 30s. Like, how old are you now? Like 34, 35? Damn. Yeah.
30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
these things,
took.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I have memories from when I was like 3 of coloring in a coloring book,
Hmm.
and they were teaching me how to stay in the line, and that's what I always relate my first experience of being an artist. Like that's it. Like that's why I'm an artist, is because someone taught me how to color in the line. You know.
Yeah. I like it.
Fun. So I love this next question. It's one of my most favorite questions to ask artists, and it is, what is your definition of art?
Oh, my definition of art. Oh man, why does art have to have a definition? Maybe that's it. No, uh, art is uh, the creative means that someone uses to express how they're feeling or what they want you to feel. Um, it's a form of communication, and I think it's very important that you, as an artist, know what you are doing, how you're doing it, um, because I think without that, it can be very difficult. It'd almost be like trying to speak without a language or knowing how to write. Um, so yeah, I think it's just it's expressing yourself in the way that you know how, and or the ways that you know how.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about that as art being a form of communication.
Yeah.
You know, like we do these. We have body language, we have language, we have like social cues and stuff like that. But that's interesting to think about it that way. Like the art is like a way of expressing yourself in a visual sense. Sometimes even through an audio sense. Is that a word? Audio, but
Um,
like an auditory sense.
yeah,
Like
auditory sense. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess art can be expressed in every single way. Like you can use the senses, like the five senses, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was a really fun project we had at UMO too. Was I think it was a show for the seeing impaired.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was a great one because then you get out of that mindset of this has to look good, like and I mean there was some things that were some borders that you have to follow for safety guidelines, but I mean it was a great project. I think I did a piece that was kind of like a wind chime piece with the wrecking ball. So that was a lot of fun.
What? I don't remember that, but it was so the wrecking ball is like the bottom of the wind chime.
So it was like there's a kind of trapeze shaped base, and then from there it went up with steel rods that hung over, and then
Okay.
at the end of that steel rod was this wrecking ball, and then over here hanging was like a set of wind chimes made out of steel and then wood.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, and you were trying to like make wooden wind chimes, weren't you, for
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah. It worked. I mean, it was fun. Like it turned out pretty well, I thought, and I got the effect that I wanted. Um, However, it was destroyed. The project, like it ended up, I think someone or it might have just taken too much.
Oh, it got destroyed during the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Um, like it broke. Like they broke it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know if it was just slammed. Like the ball was a wooden, like complex made. It's still intact. I think the ball itself is a work, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, this I don't know. I think I'd have if I had to redo that one, I'd have to consider a lot more abuse is going to be taken to it,
Yeah.
especially when people can touch it. Like people are capable of great strength and
Yeah, they tested the boundaries of that art, and
I mean, this thing is welded together and tied together with 550 cord. Like I was surprised.
oh, it's funny. Um, yeah, what do you do with all your old art that you don't show anymore or that you plan on showing in the future? Like, do you have a storage space for it or anything?
Yeah, it's my bedroom.
Or
I just kind of back it up and I'm like, well, if I put these pieces that are in my living room into a show, I'll just kind of rotate them out. And I mean, I enjoy doing it that way. I am a bit sentimental when it comes to my work, and especially right now during school, um, I find like some of the processes and some of the subjects, um, it almost doesn't feel like it's completely my art. And
Hmm.
uh, especially with time restrictions, um, these things all come into play. And I feel like when I sell, I don't want to sell something that isn't mine.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of like live with them for a little bit first?
Yeah, and I like to look back on them, think about how I did that, or like the memories that were with them while I was making them.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that's important to later on in life when we, are done with school, and um, it just gives us reminders. It's kind of like keeping notes,
Mm-hmm.
from schoolwork or a folder that had your school subject in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so much harder though with sculpture because
Yeah, space.
sometimes you can't file them away into a file, like.
No. Then you can on each other and
Do what
that
with each
looks
other?
cool.
Oh, stack them on top
Just
of each
stack them
other?
on top.
Oh shit. Yeah. So yeah, I have a really hard time with that. Like I have to. My whole basement is like a storage unit right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel the sculpt. It's not easy for sculptors to store their art. Um, how does your family treat your art profession? Like, do you have any family members that know you're an artist, and like, do they take
Yeah.
you seriously with it?
I mean, yeah, it they're always supportive, and especially after with COVID, I feel like it's been really challenging to just do what I had planned, challenging work wise and was um I mean, I've done some vending events. I've done um I have some work in the at UNO right now in the gallery, and it's been a challenge. I mean, let's see. Um, I try to put my stuff everywhere I can, um, but yeah, that's it proves difficult once no one can go out. So my family's been there in the sense that they like my stuff. They'll tell me good job and that kind of thing. Um, but that's about it. I mean, they do what they you know.
So have you
Sometimes.
ever had like any family members give you criticism or like treat your art like it's not really a profession worth going after or anything like that?
Oh no, no. Everybody's been on board. I mean, I think they've always been supportive with whatever career I chose.
That's
Um,
great.
and I feel like this one, they're they're not just supportive. They're like, this is you. This is where you belong, and you've always belonged there. It's just you just figured out how to get there.
In your 30s.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's great to hear. What what would you say are like some of your biggest struggles with art?
It's with art, time. You know, I feel like it's hard to, especially with everyday life. You just have to figure out when to take the time to do something,
Hmm.
and um, I think that going to UNO has helped me, figure out that all of this stuff that I'm going to do takes time. They have a structure that, like a school schedule. It says, hey, be here, do this right now. You don't have a choice.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like, you know, when students get out of UNO, sometimes it's hard to it's hard to find that time to figure out
Hmm.
when to sit down and say, hey, this is my designated time to make something. Nothing else happens.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like that's not just problem with artists, but just a problem with most people in general. Um, it's hard to figure out when to sit down and or when you can sit down and do something that's for you.
Hmm.
Because to me, making my art isn't for just everybody. Mainly, it's for me. Like I like to do it to, I don't know, um, relax. Like I'm enjoying this. If I'm not enjoying it, then it's not getting my full attention. It's not getting my emotions or anything. And it can't be rushed.
Mm.
Where,
Yeah.
you know, with school, that will often happen where you have to get it done. You have a deadline. It's time to show what you have. So, especially when you're full time. But you know, I think that just teaches you good work ethic too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you have way too many ideas and you're like,
Yeah. I don't have my notebook like immediately on hand. I think it's upstairs, but that's where that comes in hand. Like I think I have like 4 different notebooks right now, and one is always carried on me. Actually, it's right here. 1 second.
so,
So yeah, it's got a little donkey on it.
oh, yeah, you've always had one of these. You've always had one of these little
Yeah.
tiny, they fit in your back pocket kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll just be, you know, scribbled on just random ideas. Like I don't know. Here's just like a list of my,
Dang.
and they're all one line. Like, all right, this is an idea, and maybe I'll do it. Maybe it will just sit in this notebook forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's really important to like kind of exercise that. Like if you're ever having like what is it, not brain fog, I'm having brain fog right now, like writer's block or artist block, like
Hmm.
start writing down your ideas, make it a practice, and it will just keep on coming. Like you'll just have one idea after the next, and won't stop. If it ever does stop, you have a whole list that you haven't touched, you know.
Yeah. There's some more advice for someone interested in this
Yeah.
profession.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that people really do struggle with, though. Like, if you can't find a concept, or, I mean, what are you going to do with what skills you have, especially as an
Yeah.
artist? I mean, I guess you don't always have to have a concept, but I think it's good to have one. It's good to like give you some kind of drive. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you making this thing that might not have a concept that you want to show, but
Mhm.
you know, uh, maybe it's just that you're pissed off and that you want to work, you know, so
Mhm.
you just start working, and that's your concept, you know.
Yeah. Before you know it, you got something
Yeah,
that.
this was made out of anger.
um. So you're writing artist statements right now in your first semester of the BFA.
Yep.
What is your concept that you're going with in your artist statement right now?
So pretty much the human condition. I mean, anything from uh time, space, death, love, and we were talking earlier, ego, um, inequality, like just stuff that's these words that we deal with all the time that we don't have a choice about. You know,
Mm.
we're stuck with this stuff, and that's why I think that's why it's called the human condition. Like, if you're a human, you're gonna deal with this.
Mm. Okay. Are you having a hard time writing that artist statement?
No, I actually I had started it. I think 2 semesters ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took professional practices too, and that really helped me a lot. So if you're ever becoming an artist, take a professional practices course, because there is a lot to know. You know, like what it takes, how to get yourself out there, um, and to just to narrow down what you're doing.
Yeah. Who did you take that with?
I took that with was it
Was it Peter?
Peter? Yeah,
Peter
Peter
Fankhauser.
Frankhauser. Yeah, Fankhauser.
Yeah, Fankhauser. There's no R.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He was
Yeah, he was.
an artist assistant in New York City, and so he knows the art world like none other here in Omaha. And yeah, I think I was actually kind of jealous that you guys got to take that with him because he's such a cool dude. And but yeah, like professional studio practices, I would agree that's one of the most important classes that you could ever take as an artist, and not every college offers it. So we're really lucky that that's there at UNO.
Mhm.
Did he have you guys read any books or anything?
Um, I think it was during COVID that I took that course with him, and what he gave us was text that we could read over,
Hmm.
like clips from books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Articles, that kind
When
of
I
thing.
took that class, the professor had us get this book called Artwork, and it basically like teaches you how to treat your art like a profession, and treat it like a business.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, it probably was, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was a couple semesters ago, but
yeah,
I have everything that you know we went over saved into a folder and all of that, and I've already started to go back through it, just looking through it, and especially with the BFA, it's helped me tremendously.
oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because they cover everything from like artist statements to taking inventory of your work and
Yeah.
documenting and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. By the way, have you like had to photograph any of your artwork?
Yeah, and you know, I'm fortunate to have a pretty good cell phone. Like, it was the main reason I bought that phone was just to get the best camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good thing to do because like yeah, keeping like constant backlogs of all of your work, in case a show comes up, you can just instantly like apply to that show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's not just important to show your work, but it helps you preserve your work in some way. Like,
Hmm,
if you ever sell that piece, you have that photo. Um,
hmm,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, that works. Um, so I think maybe we'll wrap it up here. Is there anything else that you maybe want to talk about before we call it quits here? Do you have any current projects going on that anyone should know about, or anything like that? Or
Um, yeah, so I guess right now something that's being made is that's in the works is a series of towers that I'm gonna do for the BFA,
mm,
and um, yeah, they're gonna be, I think, big in my mind. I mean, big physically too, and yeah, I'm really excited to be working on something new, and I feel like this one is like totally me. Like, I try not to draw from too many artists, and um, I think this one, I'm not sure if it's something people do right now, so I'm excited about those. um,
cool.
and
So you
hopefully
got
I'll be showing those pretty soon here, probably within um, the next few months. I'll be able to show my first one, and yeah, after that, I want to continue making these, even if they're smaller sizes or whatever. But um, yeah, I guess just watch out or keep an eye out, like you say. um, yeah, I'm excited about these, and I look forward to showing them.
will you post any photos of those on Instagram?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, sweet. So listeners should go find your Instagram and keep an eye out for
Yeah, definitely, and
that.
I'll be happy to follow back once um, Instagram standards change.
Okay.
500 people is the cap. That's crazy to me. Like,
What is
I
the
want
cap?
7,500 people. So I try to follow everybody too. So it's just, uh, yeah,
Huh.
that's Instagram's loss, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably don't care, but whatever.
No, it's
I'm
um
still gathering, organizing. A website should be in development at some point, and just something. Maybe there's a platform that will develop and that we'll be able to use as artists that is something you don't have to type in to visit,
Mm-hmm.
or Google. Like, I don't know. I thought Instagram was going to be that choice, but I mean, that only reaches so many people, especially with their algorithms and all of that.
Yeah. Well, maybe some gallery personnel will see your work and you can get some stuff in the gallery or something.
Yeah, that's always, fingers crossed. I hope so.
Yeah, but then people still have to log in by basically going to the gallery, like.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're going to collect all of these pieces that you're making right now, though, for the BFA, and are you going to show them all at once in your final thesis show, or are you going to make a single body of work there at the end?
Oh, like my history of works.
Yeah,
Like,
are you?
I don't think showing that in my BFA. I mean, I guess I didn't even really consider it.
Well, you can't show stuff. You can't show stuff that you made before the BFA in your thesis. But
okay.
the stuff that you're making now, because you're in the BFA, you can show that as your thesis. So is that what you're working towards?
Yeah, the towers. Yep.
Okay, great. So those will all be in the UNO art gallery for your thesis show.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, cool. How many are you thinking about making?
Depends. Like, like I said, I've almost spent $400 on a third of my first piece, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I need to scale it down in the future. So I mean, I would love to have a bunch of them. I think these are going to be sweet. Maybe it's just my bias, but yeah, I think these will be something that people will enjoy, just because it's there's a different way of looking at it in a way, and I guess if you want to know about that, you'll just have to see it.
That's the best way, man. Like that's
Little mystery.
yeah, you got to keep some mystery there. Like you're not gonna see the full thing on Instagram.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, you have to come in and see it in person. So cool. Well, maybe we'll do another episode before the thesis show, and we'll promote this. Yeah. Okay, great, man. Well, it's been good talking to you. And yeah, let's do this again within the next year. And yeah, I guess but let's talk again here soon.
Okay, cool, man. See you, Alec. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening. Let me turn this off here. All right. That's done. We did it.
Cool. Nice, man.
Oh, it's